What's up everybody, Jared here with carbuzz.com, and one of the biggest complaints that I have heard and written about the Toyota Highlander is that it's just not that big. If you're looking for a 3-row vehicle and plan to use that 3rd row a lot, the Highlander just wasn't a great option. Introducing this, the 2024 Toyota Grand Highlander. This is a larger vehicle than the standard Highlander. In fact, there are really very few vehicles in this segment that offer more space, but you're still going to have a hybrid option, which is still rare in this segment, as well as a new hybrid max option that wasn't available on the standard Highlander. So let's go ahead and take a look at the 2024 Toyota Grand Highlander and learn about what changes Toyota has made from this to the standard Highlander. So for starters, we are looking at the top platinum trim level here with the hybrid max drivetrain, and you can tell that the front end looks very different from the standard Highlander. I actually see a lot of RAV4 in the front here. I think that is not exactly a bad thing. We see lots of trapezoidal shapes and this hammerhead front grille. I really like this color as well. These are the 20-inch wheels. However, these are actually not the wheels that you're going to be getting on the platinum trim. These are the limited wheels. Toyota tells me that they weren't able to get the platinum wheels in time for this event ahead of this vehicle's launch. So just keep that in mind, that this is not the wheel that you would get on the platinum trim. And looking at the overall length of this car, it's 201.4 inches in length. To put that into perspective, the regular Highlander is just under 195 inches. So this is about 6 inches longer, and about 4 of those inches is going to come in the wheelbase, where this thing has a 116-inch wheelbase compared to about 112 for the standard Highlander. So this is a significantly larger vehicle if that's what you were looking for, and the Highlander didn't serve that purpose. Here in the back, I see a lot of RAV4 in this taillight. That does look very much like a RAV4 taillight to me. We've got exposed dual exhaust here because we have the hybrid max. Other powertrains are going to have hidden exhausts. I do really like those nice dual exhausts there, to be honest. We've got Grand Highlander written in body color here on the back, and then we have our trim, platinum on this model, and then hybrid max being the powertrain. All right, so now I'm gonna take you on a tour of the inside of the Grand Highlander, this being the platinum trim with the hybrid max drivetrain. So this is as loaded up as you can get a Grand Highlander, just so I can show you all of the features that you would get on this car. You're gonna get heated and ventilated seats. They're actually gonna be suede only if you get the hybrid max. The regular gas engine is just gonna have regular leather. You also get these cool bronze accents on the seat and on the dash as well. That is a hybrid max thing only. You've got this cool kind of like mesh finish. You can also get wood, I believe only on the gas model. I believe the hybrid maxes are gonna have this mesh finish, and we do have memory seats, 2 of them here on this driver's seat as well. Now let's go ahead and step on inside, where I already have the air conditioning running because it has been very, very hot here in Hawaii. You're gonna get this 12.3-inch touchscreen on every Grand Highlander, which is a nice touch. Heated and ventilated seats on the upper trim levels, which is quite nice as well. Throw it into reverse, you're gonna have your 360-degree camera that works really well. It also does that cool thing of it'll make the car invisible as you kind of move around, which is quite nice. We've got a fully digital instrument cluster here. You're gonna have a smaller digital instrument cluster on the lower trim levels, but the Platinum is going to have this nice all digital one. Kind of a nice touch. I like the steering wheel as well, general Toyota steering wheel, but we do have really nice leather, and we do have paddle shifters here on this Hybrid Max model. We also have a head-up display, our digital camera mirror. We've got our massive panoramic roof. And we've got tons of storage here on all Grand Highlanders. So you've got your 2 cup holders here, another cup holder here, large storage area here with a wireless charging pad, USB-Cs everywhere. There are a ton of USB-Cs in this vehicle. You also have this nice little parcel shelf like you used to get on the standard Highlander with another USB-C over there. We also have the JBL audio system on this upper trim level. And now let's check out the back seat, because this is where the Grand Highlander really starts getting more impressive than the standard Highlander in terms of passenger space. We've got captain's chairs here on this platinum trim. They also have the ultra suede with the bronze accents. You can get an 8-seat layout on the base XLE model, but all of the upper trim Grand Highlanders are going to have this captain's chair layout. We've got sunshades as well. Nice feature for your kids to have. Something really cool about this upper trim, this platinum model, is that we have heated and ventilated rear seats. This is becoming a slightly less rare option. As of late, the Hyundai Palisade and the Kia Telluride were the only vehicles that had them for a long time, but now the Mazda CX-90 has them as well. I mentioned that we also have more USB-C ports here. We have 2 more of them here for the kids to enjoy. We also have this center console area with cup holders and a lot more storage. This is very easily removable. There's just one little button here, and then this can lift out if you just want to have a nice pass-through to the back. In terms of legroom, really good here. We've got about 41.7 inches up front. We've got 39.5 here. So as you can see, I'm pretty good here, but I can pull this little tab to move forward or backwards a little bit if I want. I can also recline. I'm not sure why the seat won't move. There we go. I was pulling the wrong trigger. So you can go all the way that far back, and now you can see I have plenty of legroom as well. And you also have 33.5 inches here in the third row. Now this is an area where the regular Highlander struggles a lot. I tried to put some adults during a bachelor party in the back seat of the regular Highlander, and it really didn't work that well. They were very tight in the back. So now I can slide this seat forward. We've got like a little step area here, making the ingress and egress really not that bad. We also have a little grab handle here that has another USB-C port on it here. And now you can see when I pull this seat back to that position, I actually have plenty of legroom. This is something that I did not have driving the regular Highlander. So they've made huge improvements here on the Grand Highlander. Loads of storage area here. We've got more cup holders. You can even fit a tablet in here as well. So this is a back seat that as a 5'9" adult, I would be happy to ride in for a long road trip. And last but not least, let's check out the cargo area where the Grand Highlander is going to show significant improvement over the standard Highlander. Behind the third row, we've got over 20 cubic feet of storage. This is an area where the Highlander just really came up short. When you had the third row up, you had to choose between having passengers or stuff behind them, but not here. You could fit several suitcases behind here and still have your friends at the bachelor party in the back seat. As we saw, it is big enough for adults. You could fold down the seats pretty easily. These headrests are going to fold automatically as you drop the seats. That's going to give us about 58 cubic feet of storage, which is very, very large. There are very few vehicles, even in this large segment, that can compete with that. And Toyota is very proud of this fact. So it's kind of a 2-stage process here. So we're going to pull this tab here. It's going to tilt the seat forward. And then we have to use this lever right here that's labeled number 2. And that's going to fold that seat flat. We're going to have to go and do the same on the other side. But once we do that, the Grand Highlander opens to about 97.5 cubic feet of space, which is second only to the Chevy Traverse. Only the Chevy Traverse, and I guess technically the Buick Enclave as well, are going to have more storage space than this. More overall storage space than the Hyundai Palisade, the Kia Telluride, the Honda Pilot. This is a big boy. So if you can't fit all of your stuff into this, I'm sorry, you're probably going to need something like a Chevy Tahoe or a Suburban. All right, so now I've hopped behind the wheel of the 2024 Grand Highlander, and we are starting off with the base gas engine. There are 3 different powertrains that you can get, and we're going to start off with the gas because it's the least expensive. You're going to get a 2.4 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. It's the same one that you get in the regular Highlander. You can also get it in several Lexus models as well. It produces 265 horsepower, which is actually a little low for this segment, but because it's a turbo 4 and not a naturally aspirated V6, the torque is very high at 310 pound-feet. So there are moments where you need a little burst of acceleration, and you have it because of all that torque. So I do like that the Grand Highlander doesn't feel like it needs to rev out as much as something like a Kia Telluride or a Honda Pilot with their naturally aspirated V6 engines. Your 0 to 60 time is going to be pretty admirable, 7.5 seconds, as is your fuel economy. You're going to be getting 21 mpg in the city, 28 on the highway, 24 combined, that is with front wheel drive. Adding all-wheel drive, which is what we have here, is going to step you down to 21 in the city, actually the same number, 27 on the highway and 23 combined, so a 1 mpg hit, which is really not that bad. But if you do get the upper trim levels, those are going to hurt it a little bit more, mainly due to big wheels and a little bit more standard kit. So you're going to get 20 mpg in the city, 26 on the highway, and 22 combined. And in terms of how the Grand Highlander drives, it's pretty close to the regular Highlander. I think that Toyota has done wonders for their steering feel ever since they switched to this TNGA architecture. So it is nowhere near dead behind the wheel. We're driving on this kind of mountain heading towards the beach road, which is very nice, this nice coastal road. And I'm having a decent amount of fun playing with the steering. The body control is very nice as well. The roads are not super rough, so I can't get a great impression on the suspension, but it is shared with the regular Highlander, and it does feel quite compliant, at least in my testing. I will even go so far as to say that I think the interior is a little bit more insulated than the regular Highlander, which is a complaint that I usually have on a lot of smaller Toyota vehicles, but I think that this is very quiet, so this would be really nice for like a long family road trip. I think it's very comfortable, and I don't think it would get fatiguing at all. But here's the thing. I think that the real reason why Toyota thrives is because of their hybrid drivetrains, of which there are 2 on this Grand Highlander. So why don't I hop out of this gas model and into the Grand Highlander hybrid. So this is the same familiar hybrid system that we've seen from Toyota over and over and over again. It's a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine, non-turbo, 2 electric motors. Together, they produce 243 horsepower, and Toyota actually quoted torque for one of the first times ever that I can remember, which is 175 pound-feet. So this is the least powerful version of the Grand Highlander that you could buy. Less powerful than the gas engine, less powerful than the Hybrid Max, and it's the slowest. It's going to do 0 to 60 in about 8.6 seconds. So something to consider if you just really want effortless torque, effortless passing power. The hybrid might not be the one for you, but honestly, we're driving up a hill right now, and I'm gonna try to overtake somebody here. Even uphill, it definitely has to struggle, but because this is a direct drive and we don't have either an 8-speed in the case of the gas or a 6-speed in the case of the Hybrid Max transmission, the power delivery is immediate. You put your foot down, and you get all of the power. Not too much of it, but honestly, I could live with it. And the reason why I could live with it is for the fuel economy. This thing gets fuel economy that we have never seen on a 3-row vehicle of this size before. If you get front wheel drive, you're gonna get 37 mpg in the city, 34 combined, or 34 on the highway, 36 combined. And that's gonna go down if you get all-wheel drive to 36 in the city, 32 on the highway, and 34 combined. Or if you get the limited trim, which is the nicest version of the hybrid, you can get 35 mpg in the city, 31 on the highway, and 33 combined. We're talking numbers in the city and combined that you will not see driving on the highway downhill in a Kia Telluride or a Hyundai Palisade. So that is an area, a benchmark that Toyota has just achieved so highly on that nobody can even compete with them on. Is it the most powerful? Is it the most refined sounding engine? Absolutely not. But that fuel economy is unbeatable. And last but not least, let's check out the Grand Highlander Hybrid Max. So this is the most powerful version of the Grand Highlander. We actually first saw this powertrain in the Toyota Crown. You can also get a version of it in the Lexus RX 500 F Sport Performance. It's the same setup here, so you still get a 2.4 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, the same as you get in the regular gas version of the Grand Highlander, but we've got a hybrid assist here. So now instead of 265 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque, we get a whopping 362 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. And actually, I hear from some Toyota engineers that were being a little coy about it. They said if you were to run premium gas on this car, you might even get a little bit more than those power figures. So when I put my foot on the throttle, yeah, this is definitely the quickest Grand Highlander you can get. 0 to 60 takes just 6.3 seconds compared to 7.5 seconds in the gas-only model. So more than a full second shaved off of the 0 to 60 time. And the thing that is really cool about this Hybrid Max powertrain, because it's a hybrid, is the fuel economy is not even that bad either. You're gonna get 26 mpg in the city, 27 on the highway, and 27 combined. In other words, if you were going to step all the way up to the top gas engine model with the bigger wheels, you might as well just get this, because you're getting a lot more power and you're getting better overall fuel economy. In fact, we looked at it, and the difference between a Platinum, which is the fully loaded gas model, and the Limited of the Hybrid Max, which is what I'm driving here, is only about a $500 difference, and you get so much more power. I think the 6-speed on this is maybe not as smooth as the 8-speed in the gas-only model, but because you have that hybrid assist, really doesn't make that big of a difference, and you just have so much more power and so much more torque. This is probably the trim I'd want the best. As always, just like with the regular Highlander, if you want the best fuel economy possible, you really aren't in it for performance, that hybrid is gonna be the one to get. You can get almost 40 mpg out of a vehicle this size. That is so impressive, but I do like that Toyota now has one of the best horsepower and torque ratings in this segment. Really, the only things that kind of compete with this are like the Mazda CX-90, which is a little bit more expensive than this, and the Jeep Grand Cherokee L with its V8 engine. And other than that, everything else is in a different class that's well below this. So I am very impressed with the Hybrid Max powertrain, as I was in the Toyota Crown, but I think that the Grand Highlander is a much better application for it, and I think a lot of people are gonna love having a Toyota with this much power and this much torque. All right, so that was the 2024 Toyota Grand Highlander. It arrives at dealers later this year, starting at just over $43,000 for the front-wheel drive gas-powered XLE model. That is significantly more expensive than the regular Highlander and some of the Grand Highlander's rivals, but remember that this vehicle starts in the XLE trim, which is sort of a mid to high tier trim for Toyota. If you were to factor this and compare it against a regular XLE Highlander, the price difference is only about $1,500. Now the pricing does go up significantly from there on the Grand Highlander if you want a higher trim or one of those higher powertrains. Adding all-wheel drive is going to add about $1,600. And if you want to step all the way up to the Grand Highlander Platinum, which comes standard with all-wheel drive, you're looking at about $53,500. If you want the XLE Hybrid, that's going to start at $44,600, so it's about a $3,600 upgrade to get that hybrid system. It is less powerful than the gas turbo model, but the fuel economy is amazing. There's just nothing that can really compete with that. And if you want to load up the hybrid, you can only get it as a limited trim for about 51 grand. You cannot get the Platinum as a regular hybrid. You can get the Hybrid Max as a limited as well. That's about $54,000, so about $3,000 more than the standard hybrid, but you get a lot more power, as we found out. And if you want to go full bore, everything included, you can get the Platinum Hybrid Max model for about 58 grand. That is a little on the high end in this segment, but this is giving you Lexus level creature comforts and power and torque figures that you're really not going to find on a lot of other vehicles in this segment. I think Toyota did everything they needed to do here. I always thought the Highlander was an okay vehicle, actually a great vehicle when you got it as a hybrid, but it was just too small to justify over a lot of its rivals. With the Grand Highlander, Toyota has taken that next step giving you more space than almost anything else in the segment, a frugal hybrid option, an affordable gas option, and a powerful hybrid max. It really is all things to all families, and if you are looking for a big, competent three-row SUV, the Grand Highlander is gonna have to be on your shopping list. I really hope you've enjoyed this look at the 2024 Toyota Grand Highlander. For more videos like it, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell to be alerted of our latest videos. And if you want to read my full review of the Toyota Grand Highlander, be sure to check out carbuzz.com. I'll see you next time.